Good morning, everybody. Hope your weekend went great. Hope you're still doing your weekend. I got today off, MLK Day. Hope you did too. If not, hey, Monday's almost half over, so we'll get there. Hey, tonight, national championship game, Miami versus Indiana. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting game. Uh, we got, I think, 40 basketball games today. Nothing really stands out, but hey, something to pass the time until the football game starts. We're going to be going over things that happened in basketball the last few days. We got some news items. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. Let's go ahead and get started. Did you hear about this? Remember TJ Finley, quarterback, played at LSU, Auburn, Texas State, Tulane, West Kentucky, and Georgia State. Well, guess what? Now he's going to Incarnate Word. This whole transfer thing has just gotten out of hand. They really need to do something about this. I mean, allow him to transfer once or twice, and that's it. I mean, this guy's going on his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what is 6, 7th school now. I mean, this just getting out of hand and getting ridiculous. But until they do something about it, somebody said something about it. Maybe in the ACC commissioner. Somebody said something about it recently. He was like, this is just getting stupid, but it is what it is. Speaking of transfers, Duke quarterback Darian Mensah, he enters the transfer portal. Michigan running back Justice Haynes, he transfers to Georgia Tech. Missouri safety Mose Phillips Jr., going to Oklahoma State. I'm going to say it again. Watch Oklahoma State next year. They are getting in a crap load of good players. So keep an eye on Oklahoma State next year. Now we'll see if they can do anything with them, but some of those came over from North Texas with their coach, and they were good players. So keep an eye on Oklahoma State next season. Former Colorado quarterback Ryan Stubb, he's going to Tennessee. Deadline is next Friday, but the Big Ten and SEC remain deadlocked about the future format of the CFP after their annual business meeting with CFP leaders yesterday. So they got till next Friday to come up with something. There is an overwhelming support in the room for a 16-team playoff as soon as next season. But Big Ten won't agree to it unless the SEC agrees to a 24-team format 3 years from now. First of all, hey, Aggies are my team. They're in the SEC. I love watching SEC football. I love watching Big Ten football. But who gave these guys the strength of the room? Who decided these two are gonna what they say goes? I mean, I personally I think that's bullcrap, and they ought to gang up on these two. But anyway, 16-team playoff, I'd be cool with that. 24-team. Now, FCS does 24-team every year. Works out. Yes, you have some blowouts. Beginning rounds, but you also kind of have that now with this 12-team format in FBS. I wouldn't have a problem going to 24 because there's so many. Well, there's like 130 now FBS teams, so I wouldn't have a problem with that. But I wouldn't go any further than that unless you add on 50 or 60 more FBS. Because I know Tarleton State, some others are planning on moving to FBS here in the next year or two. So 16-team would be great. I would not have a problem with 24. But like I said, who decided Big Ten and SEC run things? I don't know. Sometimes, sometimes you just want to go in there and just slap the shit out of them and say, settle down, simmer down. Gonzaga forward, Braden Huff. Unfortunately, he's going to miss 4 to 8 weeks. He has a left knee injury. They say he could come back before the end of the season. If not, he'll come back for a postseason play. And then Air Force men's basketball coach Joe Scott suspended indefinitely, pending an investigation into the treatment of cadet athletes. No details are provided. He's been there 6 years. This year they're 3-14. He's got a 97-183 record overall. 6 seasons there. With this going on, I would not be surprised if they get rid of him because they're just not very good. This might be the final thing, nail in the coffin to get rid of him and get somebody else in there. So we'll see what happens there. All right, so going back to Thursday, number 9 Gonzaga beat Washington State by 21. Ike scored 23 points, 11 rebounds. That was his 11th double-double this year. Hawaii, they moved to 13-3. They beat Cal Poly by 20. How do you say his name? Nimakisa for Hawaii. 21 points, 11 rebounds. Nice game for him. Seattle moved to 13-6, beat San Diego 75-64. Both these teams combined for 29 turnovers. Let's see. Cal State Northridge moved to 11-8, beat 13-5 UC San Diego 84-79. Florida Atlantic, they moved to 12-6, beat Wichita State 85-67. UT Arlington, they moved to 12-5, beat Utah Tech by 4. As of Thursday, UT Arlington 4-0 in January. Tennessee Martin moved to 14-4. They beat SIU Edwardsville by 6. Kind of a close game, though. It was a 1-point game at halftime. Austin Peay moved to 11-5, beat Eastern Kentucky by 2. Austin Peay was on a 7-game win streak on Thursday. Cal Baptist moved to 13-6, beat Abilene Christian 74-58. South Alabama moved to 13-5. They beat 12-6 Arkansas State 91-87 in overtime. South Alabama's Harris, 38 points, 5 assists. St. Thomas, Minnesota, they moved to 15-4, beat North Dakota 91-80. Janowski for St. Thomas, Minnesota, 32 points. Nice game. And he had 5 assists. Georgia Southern moved to 13-6. They beat Old Dominion by 3. Georgia Southern was on Thursday, as of Thursday, 10-1 since Thanksgiving. Incredible there. 10-9 Stony Brook took down 13-5 Hofstra, 76-71. William & Mary moved to 12-6. They beat North Carolina A&T 97-89. Wright State moved to 12-7. They beat Youngstown State by 10. That game was 1-point game at halftime too. Northern Kentucky, they moved to 14-6. They beat Detroit 96-71. Northern Kentucky's Wells had 35.7 rebounds. Nice game. Liberty, they moved to 14-3. They beat New Mexico State by 2. New Mexico State only shot 4 free throws in that whole game. What does that say about Liberty, man? Hardly any fouls. Moving on to Friday, Dayton moved to 14-4, beat Loyola Chicago 78-51. As of Friday, Dayton was 5-0 since New Year's Eve. Kansas State moved to 13-5. They beat 11-6 Baylor 80-62. Kansas's Peterson 26 points. How do you say his name? Budunga? Anyway, 23 points, 11 rebounds. I know I've heard it on TV before. I just don't remember how they pronounced it. Kent State moved to 14-4. They beat Toledo by 3. Gillespie for Kent State, 29 points, 13 rebounds. There were other games that day too, but these are the only ones that stuck out. All right, moving on to Saturday. Liberty, they moved to 15-3 after winning the other night. Beat UTEP 80-69. Liberty, they extended it to a 9-game win streak. Their last loss was the 10th of December. 6-11 Northern Illinois beat 11-8 UMass by 2. Northern Illinois' Valentine had 27 points. 9-10 Valparaiso beat 12-7 Northern Iowa by 10. Northern Iowa only 19 for 57 from the field. That ain't gonna win you games. Kennesaw State moved to 12-6. They beat 11-7 Western Kentucky 81-65. Kennesaw State's Johnson 31 points. 11-8 Merrimack beat 12-7 Quinnipiac 83-71. 11-6 Grand Canyon beat number 23 Utah State 84-74. Grand Canyon's Moore Jr. and Williams each had 20 points each. They shot 51% from the field. They were 23 for 33 from the free throw line. Grand Canyon is 3-2 in the month of January. Utah State side, Falseth, 25 points, 12 rebounds. They shot 36% from the field. That loss broke an 8-game win streak that the Utah State had. 6-13 LaSalle beat 11-7 St. Bonaventure by 4. 78-74. LaSalle's Brewer Jr., 27 points, 6 rebounds. 10-8 Cincinnati beat number 2 Iowa State 79-70. Cincinnati's first win over top 2 team since 1967. So, they were celebrating. Number 22, Clemson beat 15-3 Miami by 10. Clemson's on a 9-game win streak. That was Miami's first conference loss, too, by the way. Number 19, Florida beats number 10, Vanderbilt, 98-94. Florida's Lee and Chiniglu, 20 points each. They were 32 for 61 from the field. They grabbed 14 more rebounds than Vanderbilt. Tanner for the Commodores, 20 points. They were 33 for 65 from the field. 2 losses in a row, and they were undefeated, and they've lost the last 2 games. Akron is 14-4, beat Western Michigan 104-89. Akron's Johnson, 32 points, 8 assists. Akron is 4-1 in January. 8-10, Boston College beat 12-6 Syracuse, 81-73 in overtime. Syracuse coughed that ball up 17 times. 7-9, Brown beat 12-5 Columbia, 86-80 in overtime. Columbia led by 6 points at halftime in that one. 13-6, Illinois State beat 13-7 Bradley, 88-62. Illinois State was 34 for 64 from the field. They hit 10 3-pointers and grabbed 10 more rebounds. 13-5, Iowa beat 12-6 Indiana. Iowa ends a 3-game losing streak with that win. Indiana's on a 3-game losing streak, though. So there you go. They traded it off. Navy 13-6 to beat Lehigh, 82-79 in 2 overtimes. Benigini, how do you say his name in Navy? Benigini? 34 points in that game. He had 5 3-pointers, so he had a nice game. Siena 12-7. They beat Manhattan 74-59. Marist 12-5. They beat 11-8 Fairfield 82-67. Marist is 4-0 in the month of January. Winthrop 13-8 beat UNC Asheville by 2. Winthrop is on a 5-game win streak. Eastern Tennessee State, they are 13-6, beat UNC Asheville by 2. Barkley for Eastern Tennessee State. No, wait, where was it? Where the hell was it? Eastern Tennessee State, 13-6, beat Samford by 1. I don't know what I'm talking about here. Anyway, Barkley for Eastern Tennessee State, 26 points, 11 rebounds. Utah, 9-9. They beat 11-7 TCU, 82-79. That win ends Utah's 4-game losing streak. Wisconsin 13-5. They beat Rutgers 96-87. Wisconsin was winning 51-29 at halftime. But Rutgers did win the second half. They outscored them 58-45. Just what they couldn't do in the first half came back to bite them in the ass. Yale 13-3. They beat Cornell 102-68. 16-5, North Dakota State beat 15-5 St. Thomas, Minnesota, 68-65. St. Thomas, Minnesota's 9-game win streak ended on Saturday. Number 18, Alabama beats 11-7 Oklahoma, 83-81. OU is 1-4 in January, and it showed because there are a lot of empty seats in that game. Oklahoma started off great. They've been falling lately. And you could tell when you watch that game, there's like empty seats all over the place. I was like, wow. Bowling Green, 12-6, beat Eastern Michigan, 85-79. Miami of Ohio, 19-0 still. They are still undefeated. Beat 13-5 Buffalo, but took overtime, but beat Buffalo by 3. And it took prayer, too, because Suter from Miami of Ohio, he hit a 3-pointer with 1.5 seconds left to win that. 12-5 Ohio State beat 12-6 UCLA, 86-74. UCLA head coach Mike Cronin says, blame me. Blame me for this loss. All right. Number 3, UConn beat Georgetown, 64-62. UConn hasn't lost a game since November. They're on a 14-game win streak. Number 13, Illinois beat Minnesota, 77-67. Minnesota only shot 3 free throws in that game. Number 16, Virginia beat 13-5 SMU, 72-68. Virginia scored 8 points in the final 2:30 of that game to win. Thomas was their leading scorer with 23 points and 11 rebounds. 12-6 Kentucky took down number 24 Tennessee, 80-78. Kentucky's Aberdeen, 22 points. 3 players off of Kentucky's bench scored double-digit points to win that game. Gillespie for Tennessee, 24 points. Volunteers had 12 turnovers in that one. 11-7 Butler beat number 25 Seton Hall, 77-66. Bizjack for Butler, 25 points. They shot 46% from the field. They had 19 more rebounds. They closed the first half of this game on a 15-4 run. Started the second half on a 15-8 run. So they're on a mission. Stanton McCray from Seton Hall, leading scorer, only 17 points. They only shot 36% from the field. 12-7 Elion beat 13-6 Hofstra by 4. Even though Davis had 33 points for Hofstra, they still lost. 11-8 Georgia Tech beat 12-6 NC State by 4. NC State's leading scorers, Williams and McNeil, they were held to just 5 points by that Georgia Tech defense. Virginia Tech moved to 14-5. They beat Notre Dame 89-76. Notre Dame 0-4 in the month of January. They have not looked good. I remember watching that Clemson game a couple weeks ago. They just couldn't get anything going. Where are we at? 11-9 Coastal Carolina beat 13-7 Georgia Southern by 4 in overtime. Coastal Carolina's Jones, 28 points in that one. LSU beat Missouri 78-70. Sutton for the LSU, 26 points. McKinnon behind him, 20 points. Both of them at 13-5 now. 15-4 Utah Valley beat 12-6 UT Arlington, 86-74. That ends UT Arlington's 4-game win streak. UC San Diego's 14-5. They beat Cal State Bakersfield, 83-62. St. Louis, 17-1. Look at St. Louis sitting there, 17-1. Beat 13-6 Richmond, 88-63. St. Louis, another one of those teams that lost. Last time they lost, November. Let's see. 5-15 Louisiana beat 13-6 South Alabama, 59-56. Mercer's 12-7. They beat North NC Greensboro 102-92. Murray State 16-3. They beat Indiana by 4. Murray State last lost in November. So there you go. Marshall 12-7 beat James Madison 77-72. That breaks Marshall's 2-game losing streak. Nevada's 13-5. They beat Air Force 81-66. I don't know if that coach coached that game or not. He was suspended indefinitely. I just saw that today, so he may have been suspended before Saturday's game, which I don't think it mattered anyway. Nevada, 17 more rebounds. Air Force is on an 11-game losing streak. This is a pretty good game, this one here I watched. Number 21, Georgia, took down number 17, Arkansas, 90-76. Georgia's Wilkerson, 20 points. They shot 46% from the field, hit 12 30-pointers, went on a 12-2 run, and ended up leading by 10 after that in the second half. Arkansas's Acuff, 20 points, 6 rebounds. They shot 40% from the field, only hit 5 3-pointers. Tried to come back in the second half of this game. They did a 20-3 run, just not enough. Both of them are 3-2 in January. So Georgia, remember we talked about, this is last year and this year some, Georgia would mow through the regular season or the pre-conference season, and when they got the conference play, they would just start dropping games. Well, last year that got better. And they beat some big teams last year. I think they beat Kentucky and a couple other big SEC schools. So they improved. They're improving. I mean, they beat Arkansas. They're looking better than they did. I think they're slowly building something. Don't know when they'll win a national championship in basketball, but they are going in the right direction instead of down like they used to. So keep an eye on Georgia the next few years. We'll see what happens. 14-5, Cal beat number 14 UNC 84-78. Not a good West Coast trip for UNC because they lost to Stanford a few nights before that. Cal's Camden, 20 points. Ames and Pippen, 19 points each. They were 50% from the field. They hit 14 3-pointers in that game. Bench players ended up scoring 13 points for Cal. Wilson for Tar Heels, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 46% from the field. They hit 9 3-pointers. Their defense just seems to be getting worse. Every game, the defense just, I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if they're wore out or what, but anyway. Number 8, Nebraska, still undefeated. Beat Northwestern 77-58. They had a close call against, Indiana last week. Man, they're still chugging along. Number 8, undefeated. Sanford, 22 points for Nebraska. Frager came off the bench, scored 20 points. Number 4, Michigan beat Oregon, 81-71. Number 1, Arizona beat 14-3 Central Florida, 84-77. Tennessee State moved to 12-6. They beat Southern Indiana, 73-67. Tennessee Martin, they moved to 15-4. They beat Lindenwood, 69-55. Tennessee Martin's on a 7-game win streak. Troy is 13-6. They beat 12-7 Arkansas State, 99-74. Troy is 8-2 since December 1st. Portland State's 11-5. They beat Northern Arizona, 63-52. Portland State is 5-0 in the month of January. Wofford, they won again. They're 12-7, beat 13-6 Furman by 4. Furman actually led this game by 7 at halftime. 11-7 UC Davis beat 12-7 UC Irvine by 3. Game was tied at 42 at halftime. 7-11, not the store, but that's the record. 7-11. UT Rio Grande Valley beat 14-4 McNeese State. McNeese State's had a damn good basketball program the last couple of years. UT Rio Grande Valley, remember what they did in football? They don't have the same record. They're not the same record and play level as the football team. But hey, they beat a big time program there for McNeese, 14-4. And McNeese was on a 4-game win streak, but that ended now thanks to UT Rio Grande Valley. West Virginia beat Colorado 72-61. West Virginia is unbeaten at home. I did not know that. Both of them are 12-6. I was happy about this one. 14-4 Texas A&M beat 11-7 Texas, 74-70. Remember, Texas, they had beaten Vanderbilt and Alabama this week. Lost to Texas A&M. Now if we could just do that in football. Think we can do that, Aggies? Think we can beat them in football next year maybe? Pacific is 13-8, beat Oregon State 81-64. Pacific is 4-2 in January. Stephen F. Austin, they are 15-3, beat New Orleans 84-79. Patrick for Stephen F. Austin, 29 points. That game was tied at 41 at halftime. Number 12, Michigan State beat Washington 80-63. Michigan State is 9-2 since December 2nd. Number 6, Duke beat 14-5 Stanford 80-50. Bouger, 30 points, 14 rebounds for Duke. Defense held Stanford to 19 for 54 from the field. So good defense by Duke there. Number 5, Purdue beat 14-4 USC by 5. Purdue's Braden Smith, 22 points in that one. He had a knee injury. Went to the locker room for a couple minutes, came back, stayed in the game. So he was playing on a hurt knee. He talked after the game. He's going to try and go, or he is going to go ahead and play. I forget who they got. They got somebody big on Tuesday or Wednesday, but he's saying, I'm going to play. So we'll see how his knee holds up there. Northern Kentucky, 14-7. They lost to 12-8 Rob Morris, 92-89. Despite their player, O'Day, scoring 38 points, they still lost to Rob Morris. Lipscomb, 12-7, beat 11-6 Austin Peay, 82-78. High Point, 17-4. They beat South Carolina Upstate by 20. Belmont, 17-3. They beat Southern Illinois, 73-61. Belmont's 5-1 in January. Left 16-5. Santa Clara beat 17-3. St. Mary's, 62-54. Santa Clara also 5-1 in January. North Carolina Wilmington, 17-2. Beat Campbell by 3. UNC Wilmington, they're on a 7-game win streak now. 13-5 St. John's beat 14-4 Villanova, 86-79. 13-4 San Diego State beat 14-4 New Mexico, 83-79. San Diego State's B.J. Davis hit the game winner with 10 seconds left in that game. Number 20 Louisville beat Pitt and beat them bad too, 100-59. Louisville led by 31 at halftime, and they hit 15 three-pointers in that game. Another good one I watched Saturday night. Number 15 Texas Tech beat number 11 BYU, 84-71. Texas Tech's Toppins, 27 points, 12 rebounds. Anderson, 22 points. Watts, 20 points, 8 rebounds behind them. Red Raiders, 46% from the field. They hit 11 three-pointers. BYU's Wright led the way, 28 points, 5 rebounds. Saunders behind him, 18 points. They shot 42% from the field, hit 5 three-pointers. Texas Tech went on a 30-6 run in the final 10 minutes of that game. It was incredible. 11-7 Ole Miss beat rival 10-8 Mississippi State by 1. Mississippi State, get this, missed 2 free throws and a layup in the final 11 seconds of that game. So they kind of just gave that game to Ole Miss. 11-7 UC Santa Barbara beat 13-4 Hawaii, 77-62. Hawaii, they struggled. They were down 19 at halftime. Their leading scorer, Kerr, in that game, 13 points. So, they had a hell of a time in that game. Oklahoma State 14-4. They beat Kansas State by 1. Kansas State, worst start in the Big 12 in 30 years. That's crazy because remember all those good teams they had and who they had. What was that one's name? Kid's name Beasley was that his name? Back I don't know several years ago. They've had some good teams, but yeah, we're starting the Big 12 in 30 years. That's crazy. Number 9 Gonzaga beat 13-7 Seattle 71-50. Gonzaga 16 more rebounds. Saint Supani came off the bench, scored 20 points for them. Yesterday, Tulsa, they moved to 15-3, beat 12-7 UAB, 99-77. Green for Tulsa, 26.7 rebounds. 13-6 Florida Atlantic beat 11-7 Temple by 6. Parker came off the bench for Florida Atlantic, scored 22 points. San Francisco, 13-8, beat Washington State, 85-80. Washington State had a 4-point lead with 2:31 left in that game. San Francisco scored 9 points to win that game. That's crazy. Number 7, Houston beat Arizona State 103-73. All 5 of Cougar starters scored double-digit points, and Cougars are on an 11-game win streak. 11-7 North Texas beat 12-6 Tulane 71-63. North Texas had 21 more rebounds. But the crazy thing is, not one UNT player scored more than 20 points in that game. I think the leading scorer only had 19. The rest of them way under that. Kind of crazy they won. Purdue Fort Wayne, they're 12-8, beat Milwaukee 100-82. Purdue Fort Wayne Stevenson scored 35 points in that game, 34 points in that game. But Milwaukee's Aguilar, he scored 35. So they had some good shooting going on there. Today, like I said, there is 41 basketball games today. No top 25 is playing. There's a couple. I want to say one of them was Ivy League game, Yale and Columbia maybe, or somebody that had pretty decent records. They're playing, I think, at 1 o'clock. There might be some others to get you through the day before tonight. National championship game, Miami and Indiana. Honestly, don't know who's going to win this game. I will tell you, I'm rooting for Indiana. They need some big time success in football. Luckily, they've gotten that in the last couple of years, but they've mostly been a basketball school for years and years. It'd be nice to see them get a national championship trophy in their trophy case. And I'll be honest with you, I just don't like Miami. Going back to the days of Dennis Erickson and all them, I admired what they did on the field. They strong, great players, strong games. Probably a lot of teams are scared of them, but the personalities there, they just always been jackasses. I have no room for jackasses in my life, so that's why I dislike Miami. Maybe the guys now are a lot better personality-wise, but then they show the sideline. You got Michael Irvin and some of these others on the sideline, which is their rights. They're alma mater. But when I see that on the sideline, I'm like, why are you inviting this crap back? Anyway, yeah, I'm hoping Indiana wins. Anyway, it should be a great game. We will be back Thursday, Friday, to recap what happens tonight, and in basketball, because we're getting down to it. January is past the halfway mark. We're starting to see who's going to be a force as we get down the stretch here and who's falling off. So this is a great time right now for college basketball. We're starting to separate people, good from the bad. Anyway, like I said, Monday, hopefully you got the day off. If not, you're working, keep your head down. Hey, watch some basketball online. That'll get you through the day. We'll be back in a few days. Stay busy. See you later.